We're here in the beautiful Amsterdam. We meet interesting people like Wei Zhou from Binance. How are you doing, Wei?
Doing well. Thanks for
Yes.
having me again.
Yes. Yeah, last time in Paris we talked about all the projects and plans Binance has. But now we're at Money 2020, lots of banks, payment providers, and then there's Binance.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very happy to be here. There's a lot of vendors, payment providers, banks here that we're looking to work with as we expand our footprint here in Europe.
And how do you need to explain what Binance is, or how does it work?
Yeah, so for Binance.com, we're the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. We trade. We allow for users to basically sign in and trade, variety of cryptocurrencies for both, early, I would say, early users, retail users, as well as sophisticated users. And then we have, probably the best API connections for our institutional investors to trade on Binance as well. Yeah. Additionally, we also in Europe we have Binance.je, which is Binance Jersey, which is a right now it trades. You can basically purchase Bitcoin and Ethereum with British pounds and euros.
All right. And you have more than 10 million accounts, right?
Yeah. So for Binance.com, the main the main exchange, we have over 10 million users.
All right. And actually, you announced today. It's stablecoin backed by the British pound. Perhaps you can explain something about that?
Yeah, so last month we released the Binance Chain, right? And then Binance Chain, the BEP2, we have a lot of projects that have moved over. And then one of the things that we've been testing out is basically issuing stablecoins. So one of our partners is Stably, which yesterday announced they started issuing the USDS on the Binance Chain. And today at the conference here, Money 2020, I announced that we've started testing British pound on the Binance Chain as well.
All right. And for our Europeans, when can we expect the euro-backed stablecoin?
Yeah, part of the reason why I'm here. I think a lot of it you have to work. That's not just a Binance type of work. We need to find the right partners and the right regulatory framework for us to issue it on the fiat side. I think on the technology side, we want to prove that BEP2 or the Binance Chain is a faster and cheaper and more efficient way for stablecoins to be issued and traded.
Right. It's, the stablecoin market is dominated by Tether, of course. I think they still have like 95% of the volume, so it's you have some competition there.
Yeah, I think as a whole, the stablecoin market right now is dominated by US dollars. And we think that not everyone in the world uses US dollars. I think for a variety of jurisdictions and regions, their native currencies or the native fiat currencies should have a stablecoin form. Because I think 99.99% of the money in the world are still in fiat, right? And I think really for our industry to grow, we need to figure out how to make it easier to move fiat into crypto. Which is one of the reasons why Binance is expanding our fiat exchanges, as well as working with various partners to add more stablecoins in different currencies. I would add.
All right. Yeah, you mentioned it briefly. Do you still have some regulatory challenges? You're in a regulatory sandbox in Malta. Then you have Jersey. So what are the plans on regulatory issues?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've mentioned many times is that we look for both clarity and certainty from regulators, as well as regulations and laws. Because I think we are we want to remain a regulated or a law-abiding business, right? But our footprint covers the world, right? So so we deal with a lot of uncertainties in terms of what regulations governs us as a business, given our global footprint. From this situation, we actually are actively engaging in and working with a variety of regulators in Tier 1 countries, Tier 2 countries, developing countries, in terms of helping them to put forth laws and regulations that support growth and support their own AML and CFT sort of practices, because I think those are some of the things that a lot of the regulators that we interact with really care about, and we want to sort of address those concerns as well. Yeah, I mean, for example, one of the key issues that I think Binance has been at the forefront is actually working with a lot of the on-chain due diligence folks like chain analysis, elliptic, CipherTrace, to basically utilize those tools and then educating some of the regulators on how to use those tools to track, the AMLs, money laundering that are concerns for a lot of the regulators that we talk to.
And how many steps goes this chain analysis? I mean, some do 2 steps, and actually some regulators ask 3 steps back in the transactions. I mean
a lot of it, as you know, one of the key advantages of the blockchain space is everything is recorded. It's public, right? So all the addresses are public. So at the end of the day, it's a database is basically how big is your database and managing those addresses, right? And what addresses do you track? Who do you work with in terms of marking those addresses as addresses that don't belong to normal people, that belong to criminals, that needs to be earmarked and blocked. And I mean, for us, we work with many law enforcement agencies to enact some of these blockings, right? So I think certain aspects of the regulator, certain aspects of law enforcement are actually quite advanced. Certain countries are not in terms of knowledge, but I think it's a gradual education process, and we welcome dialogue and we welcome engagement.
Are you still looking for the hacker or the team of hackers that did the hack? I mean,
I think those 11 Bitcoin addresses are the most monitored Bitcoin addresses in the world, right? So we had our hack in early May. That was the first hack significant in our history, and I think 2 things we want to point out is one is everything is fully operational. We've had a couple of system upgrades, as you know, about 2 weeks ago, and then had sort of numerous minor updates through the process. So everything is fully operational. Last week we had all-time highs in terms of both traffic as well as trading volume. And then secondly, no users lost any funds. They're fully covered by our safe insurance fund, which is basically we provide up to 10% of all of our transaction revenue to this insurance program.
All right. I mean, the CEO CZ was pretty transparent. I mean, he was on Twitter, very transparent, and that's very, how do you say? He needs to be praised for that. But it seems to be that there was this moment that he actually, how do you say, was thinking of a rollback of the blockchain, and he got some criticism for it. How do you think of this topic?
Somebody's got to say something sometimes, right? Yeah. So it's like and nothing happened. I think a lot of it is just for discussion purposes, and a lot of it, the community speaks very loudly. So it doesn't hurt to talk about things. Right.
Is it like is it like a strategy? Because I was thinking a normal bank wouldn't be that transparent about a hack.
Well, we're not a normal bank, right? I mean, I think Binance has a tremendously large community and a very loyal and highly intelligent community. So you can't bluff. You can't bluff your community. You have to be extremely honest and and in real time with our community. And I think I think if you look at sort of I would say the trading volume since we came back online, as well as the sort of the BNB price since we came back online from an operational perspective. I think people have been, as a whole, have been very supportive of Binance, and it has come through.
Right. A few questions. Why? I mean, could you tell something about the mechanism of this initial exchange offerings? Because it seems, if we look into it, of course you have your market makers that pump the price, then the price get dumped, like we've seen with Matic, I must say. So can you tell something about the mechanism? I mean, what's the role of Binance?
The role of Binance is to basically bring high quality companies, high quality founders, high quality issuances to our community. And the role that Binance plays in our launchpad is basically we help to bring the best we negotiate the deal on behalf of our investors. So basically, in terms of pricing, in terms of allocation, in terms of lockup, like we help to set some of those terms on behalf of of the investors. I think that's very, very important. And the second most important thing is we actually activate our community from a marketing perspective to bring an awareness to the projects, to the new tokens, and to help the founders to basically come to market, right? And I think and there's a tremendous amount of value in that. I think the performance of itself, we don't control that. So, but
You don't? I mean,
no, we don't participate in any of the trading in the aftermarkets.
you have market makers.
Binance does not. No, the companies themselves may choose to do so, but we do not participate in the trading of the tokens. Okay. So I mean, for us, it's more of a we raise the profile of the projects through our Launchpad program, and help to encourage them. And at the same time, because with the involvement of the community, you also have an active monitoring program that puts pressure back on the projects who've raised the money to basically go out and deliver on their promises.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, we've seen the pump and dump schemes in the industry, and then I'm just wondering if you look at the price movement of these projects, then some of these projects have a P&D pattern, but that's actually something Binance can't control.
We're an exchange. We're not a trading house.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, do you have any projects you can highlight? Are there any projects coming up? I mean, we had Harmony last week.
Yeah. I think look, if you look at sort of the timetable, we hope to be able. We're hoping to announce something for June as well.
Okay.
But nothing concrete right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What I think most of the topics we have discussed, of course, then we have the listing policy. I mean, perhaps you can give some clarification about the listing policy, because it's actually a custom-made offer, right? Per project, you get a certain fee.
We don't collect any fees from the listing. All the listings fees, the projects. I'm not sure if you read our policy that CZ announced last year, but the projects themselves name their own listing fee, and all the fees that are donated to the charity foundation.
Serious? I mean, I heard the story that the minimal listing fee is like $200,000.
No, we don't. We don't charge any. The listing fee policy. I can send you the link, right? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think we have a very transparent listing process, right? There's an application process that you sent, and then there's been numerous discussions by CZ on LinkedIn, on Twitter, as well as on a Medium about what the listing process is. Binance itself does not charge a fee, or we haven't done so since second half of last year. The projects themselves name the fee. And the fees ultimately are donated to charity anyways. So the Binance itself does not collect the fees as a source of revenue.
All right. So if you look at the revenue, that is mostly like the trading fees.
It's trading commission.
Yeah. Okay. So if you got a project, Binance doesn't have a listing fee, and how does it work then to apply for a listing?
Yeah, you can go to our website. It's listed out there. Okay. It's an online application.
Okay. Cool. Right. So perhaps we can conclude with a personal question. What are your picks in the market, of course, besides Binance Coin? Do you have any favorites in the market?
I don't trade personally. Yeah. I'm a long BNB holder.
Okay. And Bitcoin or?
And some Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay. How do you see the future of BNB? I mean, some say you get paid in BNB, I think, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think for people who work at Binance, you have the option of choosing to get paid in BNB, which has turned out quite well the last year.
Okay. And do you think it's an undervalued asset at the moment, or?
Like as I said, I'm a long-term holder in BNB. I haven't sold any.
Okay. Thank you very much, Wei, for your time. All the best, with all the projects and here in Amsterdam. Enjoy your time here.
Thank you very much.